What's good? It's your boy Fanon. All right, man. I'm probably gonna do my last video in a while on this Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury stuff, and I want to do it because Deontay Wilder said something in an interview that came out today. And actually, shout out to my man Lynn Satterfield, who did an article for Boxing Scene where he talks about Dominic Brazil is not next unless Fury's a coward. And he talks about how he believes that, Tyson Fury might be 50-50 on getting back in the ring with him. I'm not sure of exactly when the interview was done, whether it was, this week or last week, because sometimes in these articles you don't know exactly when they got the quote. So I'm hoping that doesn't reflect on Tyson Fury wanting to make the fight or not wanting to make the fight, and something that's actually been said. But seeing as Ben Davidson had mentioned something about that, thinking that Deontay Wilder needs to go fight Anthony Joshua next, right? And then the winner gets Tyson Fury. It's starting to, more and more things are starting to being said that makes me more fearful that Tyson Fury really doesn't want the rematch. And the logic that Deontay Wilder uses in talking about it, I think, is pretty persuasive. Also, before I get into that, I want to do two things. I want to thank you to a subscriber who pointed out something to me. I did a video about the pay-per-view numbers on a report that I got and verified with Barb. And some people that are from the UK pointed out that there was an issue with which numbers on Barb would actually apply to the Tyson Fury fight. So I think I'm pretty comfortable with the numbers that I gave, but I don't want to be a hypocrite, because I always tell people in the United States, or tell people in the UK, look, man, if you're not from the UK, if you're not from the United States, you're not going to understand what's going on in the United States like people who are in the United States. So I'll pay respect to that. The video is still up there. It's still up. It's unlisted. You can still hear the argument if you want to hear it, the logic for it. But I'll pay respect to the UK fans that say that my understanding and the report that I received, the person from the UK that sent that to me, and when I verified it that wasn't correct. Okay, I don't necessarily agree with you, but I will respect that, right? Because if you're not from the UK, you really do have to lean onto the understandings of people that are from the UK. And if you're from the United States, you should lean onto the understanding of the people who are from the United States. And I don't want to be hypocritical about that, and it is what it is. It's still a tremendously successful fight, and pretty much everything else I said, I stand with. But I just wanted to make that caveat. But now let me get into what was actually said by Deontay Wilder. He says, and something that his father said, John Fury, man, Tyson Fury's father said in this that I think is really, really poignant. He said, when I seen my son get knocked down heavily like he did, I'd have settled for a draw. John Fury speaking of Tyson's resilience, the best effort you'll see from anyone in the sport. He said during British boxing television, Deontay Wilder believed in his power right until the end. I did not believe in his power, but I believe in it now. Believe me, I do. And then Deontay Wilder continues, says, I'm the guy who hits the hardest in the division, period. I bring an aggressive style, excitement, devastating knockouts. All of my knockout victims have felt it. And Fury even told them after our fight that my power is real. I come to dominate and knock you out, and I won't leave the ring until I knock you out. So he's heralding his knockout power, which anybody in their right mind knows. But unfortunately, in this world, there's a lot of people who are not in their right mind. He continues, but this is the thing right here that makes me a little bit worried about the fight. He said, I don't know how confident Fury is after watching himself get knocked out. And believe me, he was knocked out. He's probably 50-50 on it. 50% of him wants a rematch, and 50% of him is thinking about that knockout and don't want the fight. You've got to be thinking about that knockout, knowing it can happen again. That's got to leave something lingering in the back of your mind that this can happen again. But if he's a true warrior and the true Gypsy King that he claims he is, then all of the doubt will go out the window. He'll want to prove that no matter what, he was right that he won the fight, and he'll fight me again. He will obviously, what Deontay Wilder means that Tyson believes he was right that he won the fight, and then he'll fight me again. And as for myself, I'm a warrior. This is speaking to Deontay Wilder, and if people say it's a draw, one side being for him, the other one side being for me, let's run it back and do it again. We can't leave people indecisive about what went on. What we feel was a controversial ending. Let's give them a clear view and run it back again, and I guarantee you I'll come out on top like I did the first time, right? And then, of course, Mauricio Suleiman said that he's okay with the fight. And as far as Brazil, he says Brazil is definitely not going to be next with all the excitement from the Fury fight. We can't leave it as a draw. There's no such thing as a draw in my vocabulary, only a winner or loser. The only way me and Brazil fight is if Tyson Fury wants to be a coward and don't want the second fight with me. If it happens, then of course we'll fight Brazil. But as long as Fury is down for it, then I'm down for it, and Fury's gonna be, and the Fury fight's gonna be on. So for now, I'm looking forward to the rematch. Yeah, man, there's a lot of truth in that, man. There's a lot of truth in that, and there's a lot of criticism of Deontay Wilder in the boxing world, man. And there has been for a while, man. The way that people have treated Deontay Wilder and the lack of respect that people have had in the boxing community have had for Deontay Wilder, to me, is something that I think is tremendously unfair. It is hard for me to understand why people believe that a guy that is 30, that is now, well, he's 40-0-1, right? But he 40-0-1 with 39 knockouts, has concussed everybody he's ever been in a boxing ring with, is not a legitimate fighter. Just like I said in the beginning of this video, if I want to debate, since UK pay-per-view numbers, definitely the ones on Sky Sports, are not actually given out, right? And you have to kind of figure that out through the calculations that Barb uses, right? And people accept that. I'll say, okay, well, if you don't agree with me about what Barb says, okay, I'm going to give you that because you're from the UK. I'm not from the UK, right? And I could very well misunderstand. My source for that information could be wrong. I would think that the same thing could be done for people when they talk about Deontay Wilder, because it is a lot less of a stretch to think that a guy who's done a million views in the United States is somebody that people in the United States know. It's also not much of a stretch to say that Tyson Fury, who is a great fighter, does, just like Deontay Wilder said, realize that he could have been very seriously injured in that fight. And if Deontay Wilder fights Tyson Fury again, the likelihood of him getting hurt, in my opinion, the likelihood of him getting hurt increases, because Deontay Wilder has already seen him. He's already fought him. The herky-jerky style that Tyson Fury has, I don't see that that's going to be something. In the first fight, it wasn't something that kept Deontay Wilder from touching him. In the second fight, it's not going to be something that's going to keep Deontay Wilder from touching him. And if Deontay Wilder touches him, he's going to go out. If Deontay Wilder touches Anthony Joshua, hits Anthony Joshua cleanly, Anthony Joshua is going to go out. Eventually, I don't doubt eventually in Deontay Wilder's career, there'll be a time when he might get in with the ring with someone where he's unable to touch them for the length of 12 rounds. But even if there is a person that I thought could do that, the very real danger remains that the guy will get touched. So, we'll see what happens, man. I don't really know what to make of this heavyweight division, man. Every time I get excited about it, man, it's just something that just, something just starts going wrong that makes me believe that, that we're never going to get we're never going to get a real picture about who the best heavyweight in the world is, man. And right now, there's an argument to be made for several people. And it can only really be decided when everybody gets in the ring with one another. So, it is what it is, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, with that, I'm out. Peace.